Who've we got? KU, AOX, Tammy, Tomayu, Cash Khan, Trading for Gold, Marley, Jessica. Yeah, how are we doing, peeps? All right, so final day of the week. Always want to finish the week on a high. And like I said, today's not exactly going according to plan. I had a couple of decent trades, but didn't manage them very well, being honest. Uh, Blake, uh, Juan, Lily White. What do I think of ZBCN? I have no idea what ZBCN is. If it's a crypto, I don't look at them. So apologies, guys, if it is crypto. Edwin, how are we doing, buddy? You well? So look, let's take a look at gold. What we're seeing, what am I feeling? Right, we've got NFP coming out in exactly 11 minutes. Uh, yeah, so look, if we take a look at the last, what, this since Monday, we had big bullish candle. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday have just been a range. We've come down, we've gone back up, we've come back down. So it's literally been a very range bound week apart from Monday, which was one directional. So from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you've literally had to trade within the ranges. What's gold looking like? Gold's like if I had to do anything, which I'm not at the minute, the daily flip looks quite interesting to fill yesterday's wick. So a break of today's low to fill yesterday's wick looks quite good. Um, Ah, to be fair, the whole week has been pretty. I mean, we've done well, but the week hasn't been great, PA. Um, if you just mark on structure points, look, if we look at daily resistance, right? Daily resistance is here. Daily support through here. We've got the wicks to work with. We look at the 4 hour range. Okay, we can bring the 4 hour range down a little to here. And then we notice underneath here, yes, we still have this wick that we can fill, but we've also got this noise here. Drop down to the hourly. Well, again, it's just not really giving a lot to choose from. So if we look at the hourly, we've got support here. Let's move this across to resistance over here on the hourly. And then the next hourly resistance we have is here. So based on longs, I don't want to be long unless we get a close above here. And look, this is yesterday's low. This is the wick that I think we could fill if we break today's low. But if we break today's low, we have to look at the structure that we have. And if I'm looking at it on a lower time frame, we don't have clear candle space. So even though I'd love to be short based off the daily candle underneath these wicks here, this here, this traffic is nonsense. It's just big noise. So realistically, if I'm doing anything, this right now, and this is why I should literally just trade when I'm on live stream because I'll try and trade in these ranges. The last trade I took was this one here. Um, Why does it look so different? Yeah, it was this one here, just underneath this candle here, down to the lows. But I came out as it hit these highs here. I was just trying to trade within the range, and to be fair, probably I've caused myself more pain today than I should have done. And that's, this is why, like I said the other day, why I live stream. Um, I'm much more disciplined. I am. And I said to everyone, you're always learning. So in terms of, I'll wait till after NFP and then we'll make a decision. You're always learning. Um, yeah, Tesla's on the rise, right? So you'll be doing quite well if you buy in Tesla. Um, I would wait now, wait for the news to come out, and then we can make a decision. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ price point here. In fact, let's just go to the 30. It might be a bit cleaner. So realistically, we've got plenty of space on the NASDAQ. We could look up to 21,700. So it's about 45 points. If the NASDAQ pops higher, we can look for a trade long. We could look for shorts below here. So I have the Tech 100 trade in since yesterday. It's not hit my stop loss. Do I leave it in as it's $5 off? So you're obviously selling, right? Is that Chris? You're selling. Hi Blessed, hi Newton. Uh, Buys for gold. Look, I whatever you predict with gold right now is a gamble before the news. And hi Anna, hi guys on YouTube. Whatever you do on gold or anything right now before the news is a gamble. So the best thing you can do is just sit tight, wait for the market to give you a direction, and then take advantage of it. Okay, so that's the Scott's going to buy at 3,332. Let's have a look. I mean, you're basically looking at this wick and this area. Look, I mean, I'll never have orders set at price points because I want to see how the market reacts at prices. Um, I know there's people out there that will set buy limits or sell limits because they'll see the market, let's say, sweep the highs, then it comes back down and they'll look to try and sell within this range here. That's fine. By all means, that's what you want to do, but you're kind of trying to catch a falling knife by doing that. You're much better, in my opinion, waiting to see if sellers come into the market at this price point. You might say, well, I'm only risking 5 or 10 pips, so I can have 10 attempts before it and get it wrong 10 times before it goes in my direction because I want to get 100 pips out of it. Well, that's fine. You're going to be built of a certain way. You're going to have to accept that you're going to take a lot of losses before you have a big win. And that's fine. Like I said yesterday, you talk about probabilities, understanding your metrics. If you know your metrics, then you can sit through and ride the tough times because you know that in within 10 trades or within 20 trades, you're going to get a big move. Perfect. But unfortunately, most people don't know their metrics and they don't understand how many losers they can take in a row. Um, and they usually risk too much, and then it comes to a point where they just blow their brains in. You waved at Billy, yes. Pete Car Corner, how we doing? How long have I been trading for? Day trading since 2020. Actual trading since 2009, late 2009. Oh, what's going on? Uh, Trading since late 2009 and investing in penny shares from 2006 to 2009. Dalton Laird, how we doing? Tegan, guys on YouTube, bit quiet today. Um, I know Friday. Right, we're getting some moves lower on gold. Like I said, the one thing that I would be interested in, I'm not going to do it, um, is I'd be interested in shorts underneath today's low to fill this wick. Uh, Sorry, I just think good will come down. Yeah, maybe, but obviously, look, it's going to be very data dependent. We've got news in 2 minutes. Patience on gold today, fellas. If you're going long, wait for demand zone and a bit of consolidation. Uh, yeah, makes sense. Whether it's consolidation, all I'd be waiting for is buyers to step in. And look, demand zones, just another name for a support level, guys. Um, it's where you've seen buyers come in previously. That's all the demand zone is. And whether you want to call them demand zones, support, resistance, supply, doesn't matter. They're all the same, just a different terminology. Um, what will happen with gold? I have no idea. I don't have my crystal ball with me today, but I will see what happens after the news. Um, so fingers crossed, we get some movement that will give us a potential trading opportunity. If it doesn't, then we just sit on the sidelines, guys. You're not gonna blow your brains in sitting on the sidelines. Um, you can't do damage to your account. NASDAQ longs will be interesting for me, data dependent, because we have a good, what have we got there? Good 45 points up to that resistance level here on the NASDAQ based off the hourly. So we can hit T1, potentially T2, dependent on how high it closes above the level, should it close above. If it doesn't close above, then we have no trade. So yeah, everything is going to be dependent on what happens. Here we go. All right, let's watch the fireworks. Okay, gold's dropped initially. Let's give it a few minutes. Let it settle down. Right, where's my phone? Okay, non-farm payrolls coming slightly better than expected. 139,000, expected 126. Not really seen any sort of aftermath or appreciation in gold after what happened in Russia, Ukraine last night, earlier today. So be interesting. Is this trade signal? No, there's no trade signal. The news has just come out, so we're waiting to see what happens. Uh, do I help, tip, or not? Yeah, you will see me trade live if a trade sets up. But remember, guys, I can't just. If you want to just follow signals, then this is probably the wrong place to be. Go and follow these guys that will just give you signals. You'll blow up your account in a few days. Um, That's all I'll say. If you want to focus on a process and get the prize to follow, then what you need to do is you need to actually sit down, take account of yourself, your actions, and put in a bit of groundwork. Try and understand a system, understand a way of trading. Whether it's my way or a different way, it doesn't matter. But, following signals isn't the answer. Yeah? Following signals is not the answer. Brokers will love traders that just follow signals because I don't know if you've ever heard the sayings, brokers are there to make you broker. Yeah. Don't expect a broker. You see NAS, yeah, it's spiked, but my rules mean I have to wait for, I told you I'd be looking for buys above here, but I have to wait for a close, guys. I can't just jump in. Um, Gold is rejecting the level. Um, it has spun round after the initial piercing. So if we can get above 33.65, I'm going to be a buyer. In fact, what 15 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm contemplating buying gold live actually, guys, as I'm looking at my broker data. Well, I've just bought. Guys. I've just bought gold. I'll put it on YouTube. So you can see, I'm just going to put partial. Okay, damn it. That should have been partial TPs hit, but I was there we go, partial TPs. 26 points banked, stop loss to break even. Okay, so nice little trade there, guys. Um, sorry, I did that on, I switched it on YouTube because I can't get the screen quickly on, and I'm about to get stopped at break even. We're yeah, stopped at break even. So we banked 26 pips. If you want, sorry guys, on TikTok, if you go onto YouTube, you will see me hit the trades live. Um, I'm just a day trader. So look, this one market came down. I'm looking for a close above here to take a trade. But the reason for this trade, the news came down, pushed price down, and then failed to stay below these lows. So as it broke the highs, I just bought and came out at these highs here and moved my stops to break even. Okay, so that was just price action. If the news was negative for gold and after breaking the lows, in theory, it should continue going down. But then once it broke the previous candle's highs, that was it. That was my cue to get in. 26 pips is what we banked. So somewhere just there around these highs. We come out. Well, now we wait for the dust to properly settle. You can, yeah, listen, you do, remember, guys, however you trade, you must respect your own rules. You don't do what I do or until you've seen it long enough, and then you might want to say, okay, I saw why he did that. I'm going to look to see how I can engineer that in my playbook. You know, don't don't do anything that you see someone do for one time online. You want to understand the methodology. You understand the risk that's involved. Um, yeah, gold's a bit wappy today, but I'm gonna wait for my next trade. If I am gonna get a trade on gold, will be a buy above 33.67. So buys above 33.67. Okay, so that's gonna be my next one. Or I will look for a sell. Oh, sorry guys, on YouTube, I'll bring you back to the other sell below what is it? 33.43.8. 33.43.8. Put that down on the bottom. All right, there's no more news that I'm bothered about. Manipulation everywhere, fellas. Just be careful with your entries and don't let manipulation. You will never know. I hear people talk about manipulation a lot, and it's kind of nonsense because we don't know. We don't know where orders are. We don't know what market makers are doing. Um, we can create a story to fit the charts. We can always create a story. But creating the story to fit the charts before it's happened is where the magic lies. So this is why rules need to be embedded. They need to be ground into you so you know exactly what you're doing in the time at the time. And if you don't have them embedded in what you want to do, you're going to react based on emotion, not process. And reacting on emotion is going to lead you down a path that you will probably not be able to recover from. Sorry, guys, a bit thirsty today. Yeah, not a lot going on today. Not a lot going on today. I think the big one will be there's there's going to be nothing to do here as well. We were looking to get long above 21,660, but the news just took it straight through there, so can't do anything. Um, Gold, we're going to wait for buys above 33.66. So that's another $11 higher than where price currently sits. Or we're looking for sells below 33.43. So now let's just mark this off. This is no trade range, guys. So in this area, gonna do absolutely nothing. No trade range. So we're done now. We had our little news trade. Now it's a matter of we wait for the process to unfold. What's happening? Yeah, Edwin, it certainly is crazy today, mate. Um, it's because there's no direction. Without direction, why no trade? There, what's the reason? Okay, look, within this area, guys, within those two price points, you guys can find reasons to trade probably, but we just took a trade here just on the basis that the news broke the lows, and then as soon as it broke the highs, we expected it to run up to the next resistance zone. But now what's happened is we've got basically carnage here. This area is just full of small-bodied candles, no continuation. Either you got a buyer candle followed by a seller candle. You got dojis followed by big wick candles. So there's no directional candles. What you want to see, and if you're going to be easier areas to trade, is when you get directional candles like these. So when you get directional candles, it gives you a space to trade into if you're trading back up, or it also gives you, if the market does come back up and you want to trade with the predominant trend, it gives you clear candle space to trade back down into. Okay, so when you see noise like this is really hard. This is where people will start to get whipsawed. You'll buy, you'll sell, you'll get caught in a trade. It's just going to be very, very difficult. So, and like I said, today I've had a couple of losses earlier on, and that is purely because I was trading in the zone that I shouldn't have been trading in. The one trade that I did like, that I did tell you about, was I wanted to see the market break today's low to fill yesterday's wick. But that is what's happening now. So when it broke its low here, we're looking for it to fill the wick down here. Unfortunately, by taking that type of trade, you have to have a huge stop loss. So I don't want to trade that kind of stop loss. But from a price action point of view, I could see it unraveling. And anyone that did look to try and take that trade, you'd be currently somewhere around 60 points up, 60 pips up. But like I said, these are you then have to have a system in place to trade it. And I don't have anything that can trade that unless my stop was all the way up there. And I'm not trading that. So things that I look for will be, right, how can I zoom down into this range and start looking for opportunities? Well, the only thing that I can do is look for the market to come down into this structure point, which is effectively that wick we're looking at, is Singapore saying sell. Yeah. Um, so we're looking for price to close below this wick. If we get a close below here, then I can look for more sells. If price comes down here, rejects the same level, and then gives me a buyer candle and closes above the level, I can then look to buy it back up into the range. So there's multiple ways I can look to trade this. It just comes down to what the market's doing and what the structure is to the left-hand side. So right now, like I said, I'm sitting on my hands. There's nothing I can do. It doesn't fit any of my processes. It doesn't fit any of my systems, my strategies. And those that just go ahead and sell here right now or buy here, they either have a system that allows them to do that or they're just trading based on emotion. So why no trade? Yeah, already answered that. Uh, Hello, user. Hi, Son Singapore. Is it better to wait for a pullback or enter immediately when it closed below the previous wick? Okay, so let's just say it closed below this area. I wouldn't just, hey Terry, how you doing? I wouldn't just sell because it's closed below. I'd rather sit on the sidelines, wait, see if the next candle pushes higher. If it pushes higher, then I'll sell the low. So look, I'll bring here's my, so let's say it was a short breakout, sell breakout, breakout short. There you go. That would be my rules. So you know that what I do and what I say is there. So they're all saved as default. So I know whatever I'm doing, um, other than a news trade, they're all very, very simple rules that anyone can follow. Now, So you can, and I'll always share my rules. You don't just have to be a member to get my rules. For those of you that, want to be part of a community and want to be um, mentored, let's say, on a daily basis, not just in the free live streams, because obviously when you're part of the members community, you can ask questions, you can share charts. I can then give you feedback on it, or one of the other mentors can. If you're looking for one-to-one coaching, then that's something different. But in the community, what you get is something that isn't just a generic live stream, which obviously this is, Uh, Ensu, hello brother, can you give me a money for a trade? My money is gone. Then what you need to do, bro, is you need to work hard. You need to get yourself in a position where you can do that. You know, handouts, unfortunately, don't make you a better person. Um, if there's something you can do for work, that's a different thing. We've got a few more joining in. Hello, brother. What trade would you take now? I wouldn't take a trade right now. The only thing that really has moved, if Nasdaq, ooh, if the Nasdaq dropped, yeah, I want to see it pull back. If it pulled back, I'd buy the break of the high. 137 points. It's up 1.2% on the day. Ideally, so if this candle creates a bottom wick, I'd buy the Nasdaq on the break of the highs. If it comes lower down and gives us a 15-minute buyer candle, then I'll buy it down here as a BPC trade. And again, I'll show you the rules with that. So this is what I'd want to see if it was a BPC long. There we go. So there's the rules for a BPC long. So that's what we'll be looking for. I'm trading I'm trading M. I got $3,000. Is it good or bad? Does that say M or RN? Sorry, my eyes. Let me put my computer glasses on, see if I can see it any better. Uh, right now, I thought that's what you've. Um, Look, how new are you to trading? Sorry, guys, I'm showing my age there with not seeing. Um, I would just be a buyer of the Nasdaq, whether it pulls back or breaks the highs. How long have you been trading, Ensu? So what I'd be saying is, look, $3,000 is a good amount to be trading, but look, the thing you need to think about is if you're not making money and you're not disciplined, then you don't even need to have $3,000 in there. Put like $500 in and trade at the smallest lot size. So trade at 0.01 and then increase based on results. Don't just trade $3,000 at a particular risk because you have that amount that you can put in. A lot. Yeah, the main thing is if you're new to trading, you just trade at the lowest risk there is, which is 0.01 lots. You don't trade more than that. So imagine going into the gym and you want to go on bench press. Would you automatically go straight over to the bench and pick up to try and bench press 200 kg? No, you start with what you can lift. So for some people that might be 20 kg, for some people it might be 40, for some it might be 80, but you do what you can with good form. And then over time, what happens is you get stronger, your muscles get more used to, hey Dan, how you doing? Your muscles get used to lifting that weight, and guess what you do? You increase the weight, you increase the reps. It's up to you. Time under tension is the thing that matters. So trading is no different. You don't go in and start trading with 100 lots. You work your way to it. So I just had a buy on gold pretty much 2 or 3 minutes after the news. I'm looking to buy the NASDAQ on the break of the highs. Um, I'm looking to buy gold as we get through 3367. We took 26 pips for half position. So yeah, the previous chart Husky was the NASDAQ, um, and then we got stopped at break even for the second half. If you do want to see the trades live, guys, I'll always be able to flip it onto YouTube. So YouTube is just Trade and Train, guys. So if you don't follow on YouTube, make sure you do on YouTube because you will get to see the trades live, or you can watch it back after the live stream. For the followers, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a bit of a competition. It's a free competition. Um, all I need is next week. I'm going to start it. I'm going to put out a lead form. So it's where you just give me your name, email, and phone number. And next week, I will give away 3 memberships. So 3 people that are on live stream next week on Friday. I will give away 3 memberships for a month. And so I'm just doing data collection. I want to know ages. I'm trying to work out who's watching, who's interested in trading. So I am going to give away 3 free memberships next week. Um, so every session, I'm going to put out a form. If you just fill it in, if you give me bum details, that's your choice. You just can't win, can you? Because I'm not going to be able to get hold of you. And don't worry, I'm not going to pester you with sales calls because I don't have the time for that. You'll just be put on a newsletter. You'll be contacted by email every now and then with some updates in the market, any offers that we do as a business. That's it. Okay, that's it. So if you're interested in that, guys, make a note, or you can drop me an email. It's up to you. You can drop me an email to Mark at Trade and Train with your details. Mark at Trade and Train.com. There you go. So I've just put my email up. Um, if you, like I say, membership includes 3 London live streams. So that's 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Zoom. It includes 3 New York close live streams on Zoom, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. These are all UK times. Includes watchlist channel, a trade setup channel for swing trades, includes a members community and all the recordings of live streams. So yeah, we do 6 live streams a week for the members. The members community with trade ideas, trade setups, and watch lists. And then obviously I do these every day at the minute, just while I'm building brand awareness because I'm fed up of doing adverts and then people just like give you shit for doing adverts and just say if you're so good at trading, why why are you advertising? So what I'm doing is I'm doing it for free. Can I drop you my mail? Yeah, of course. Um, there's too many haters on social media. Too many haters on social media that people just are happy to sit there, bash their keyboard and troll everyone. Um, if they spent as much time being productive as opposed to being keyboard warriors and hating on people, they'd probably be very successful in life, a lot of these people. So right now, let's just see what's happening with the NASDAQ. Like I said, I want to see a little bit more of a pullback to buy these highs. Yes, people are. Which broker do I use? I use a few. You can, I'll tell you what, I'll share. If you, Stan, here you go. I'm just going to drop you a URL here, and then you can see a lot of the things that I do. Anyone that's based in the UK or near London, so Jack, is 18 a good age to start? One of my youngest members is 14. They started with me when they were 12. So any age is a good age. Just not starting, that's a bad age. Can we see your broker account? Yeah, if you go on YouTube, whenever I trade live, you will see it on YouTube. Yeah, so Jack, don't worry. The only thing I don't show you is my P&L because P&L is there's no point. At the end of the day, you can watch me do it live, and you will either like the process, hate the process. You'll see what I do on a daily basis, and you will know whether it's right or wrong for you. How long have I been trading for? Since 2009. But that was swing trading first. I was swing trading until 2020. And then Mr. Trump ruined. Um, don't, I wouldn't do a course. Don't do a course. Just watch for free first. And if you like what you see, then you can look at different things. You know, courses, if you're in, I am doing a course and they're never big. They're always anywhere between 10 and 15 people. You can see it on the stand store. Can we just trade at the open for 1 hour, then leave it? Yep, that's what I generally do. I trade US Open and London Open. If I'm Kakashi, if I'm being ill-disciplined, and this is the truth, if I'm not being very disciplined, I will trade in between those times. I try not to. Most of the time, I'm very disciplined. Do I use any indicators? No, no indicators. Now, listen, anyone that what we anticipating on gold from my analysis? Well, I'm looking for buys on NASDQ at the minute. Gold, I'm doing nothing until we get above 3367 or below 3343. This area, I've deleted it now, but I did have this area. This is my no trade range. Okay, so that's my no trade range. Um, thanks. Okay, yeah, no worries. I will have a look at yeah, Kakashi, all you need to do, mate, is just come here for free. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to do anything other than that. The free chat, this is free, mate. And if you don't like what's free, then you can go and do something else, to be fair, mate. I'm not asking you to be here. So if you want to be here, you be here. You don't want to be here and then you know what to do. Yeah, of course. I have a business. So I'm not a charity. I come live every day. So this is me just using the shop window, and you guys can take advantage of just the free stuff. That's it. And if you don't like what's free, you're sure as hell not going to like what you pay for because guess what? Um, the paid stuff is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. You just get more attention. I don't do anything different here to what I do. Okay? Because if I did something different here to what I do when you come on the live or in the membership, then you're gonna be like, what's going on here? This isn't what I saw. This isn't what I did. You know, it's not a trick. I'm not here to trick people. I'm too old in the tooth for that. I'm gonna be YouTube channel is Trade and Train. Business. I thought you were a trader, so you do sell mentorship. Yeah, Trade and Train is a business. This, I'm trading and I'm doing it for free. Like I said, if you have a problem, Kakashi, please leave. I'm not asking you to stay. I'm not forcing you to stay. But if you have a mindset like those keyboard warriors that I keep telling you about, then I'm just going to say one thing because I'm not going to waste my breath answering your particular mind every 2 seconds is if you don't like it, please leave. I'm taking advantage of desperate people. How am I taking advantage of desperate people? Hi, mate. So is it gold you just trade? I'm on 70k FTMO evaluation up 3k only on gold. Nice one. I only trade three markets. I trade gold, NASDAQ, and DAX. Okay. So I trade the DAX in the morning with gold, and I trade NASDAQ in the afternoon with gold. Occasionally, and very, very occasionally, you might see me take a DAX trade in the afternoon, but very, very occasionally. Yeah, man, this VV, I think you're right. I think I might have to ignore him. If he carries on, I'll just do what I did to what's his name yesterday. Mainly waiting for a break of Asian high or low liquidity sweep. Yeah, I mean, look. Thanks, guys. We can't help it, can we? Like I said, literally, just as I was saying, there's keyboard warriors. There's keyboard warriors doing this shit I was talking about, but like we can't help it. Can't help it. People can't help themselves. It's natural, right? Um, we all get tarred with the same brush. But I get it. I understand it. But if I was here with my card machine out and saying, transfer me this money or you are going to do this, then it's a very different situation. Um, yeah, so look, first thing I'd say when you're on like funded accounts are brilliant, right? Funded accounts are really good because they will help you grow your personal wealth a lot quicker, providing you can adhere to the, all right, so I'm gonna put a buy stop in on NASDAQ, guys. Um, I'm just gonna pull it up on YouTube in a second if I can get it. Market. Okay, so trade is in. Where's YouTube? It's not triggered. It's pending. There you go. So it's pending. Um, God has been on that number trade range since yesterday. I marked it last night, and yeah, exactly. So just put partial TPs in. So on YouTube, so we've got buy stop above the high of this candle, and I've got a 20 pip first target. So 21,770 is my first TP. I'm going to put in an auto break even at 15 pips. Okay, so at 15 pips, auto break even will kick in and just move my stop loss straight to break even. So if you want to see it, guys, it's on YouTube. The Thinking Trucker, I've been a paid member for over a year now and got ripped off by many people before meeting Mark. The Thinking Trucker, is that Vic? Is it Vic? Right, okay. I didn't know your TikTok name. So, hey Vic, how you doing? Um, I did not know your TikTok name at all. So appreciate the kind words there, Vic. Okay, hard to maintain when you're on a building site. Yeah, I can imagine. So listen, one thing I would say to you, if you have to think about what you do for work and when you can, um, if this next candle breaks the low of this bearish candle, we'll cancel the order. Um, Stop loss is underneath the bearish candle low. So if you have a look on YouTube, you'll see it. Um, Entry is above the level, above the high of this bullish candle, and I will cancel the order. So you can see it on YouTube. Let me see if I can do this thing. I don't know. Camera blank add source. Uh, it just plays up when I do it on here. Everything starts shutting down. Uh, Window capture, display capture, add. Okay, so uh, there you go. You should be able to see it now. Can you see it now? Oh, there you go. Oops. How do I? Okay, so you can see it now, right? Okay, so as soon as we break that low, you can see where my stop loss is. No trade is in right now. It's not triggered, but if we break the low of that candle, I'll cancel the order. When the trade goes live, in the top right-hand corner, you'll see some blue or orange numbers. If it's blue, it means the trade's in positive. If it's negative, you'll see it in orange. Now, who is it? Was it Tom that's on a building site, right? So Tom, um, what time do you leave for work? What time do you get off? What time do you finish? So these are going to be like things that you really have to start to think of how you can then manage trades and what sort of systems you can put in place. So a lot of my traders are using things like Magic Keys, or they're using Dane's Trades, or they're using Trade Assistant because it helps them manage. So for example, we've automatically got break even set, we've automatically got TP1 set that will close out 50% or 60%. We use something called a 70% rule, which means that wherever price goes to, so if my first target, let's say I'll just use round numbers now. If my first, also you need to identify your preferred pairs to know what's the best time. Yeah, well, you need to know when you can trade. There's no point identifying the pairs if you can't trade at certain times, right? So good point, VV, but we have to remember it's the other way around. Um, um, so things like if you're, I don't know, let's say you work at 5 in the morning UK time and you get back at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no point looking to trade London Open, okay? You might as well wait until right. What opens at 1 o'clock in the afternoon UK time? Well, we know that 1:30 is COMEX, so Commodity Exchange opens at 1:30. We know that NYIC opens at 2:30. So you can plan your day around those type of things. Now, in terms of currency, um, and it's so liquid that and each it doesn't matter whether you're a European session or US session, if the market is being traded, why would you cancel the buy stop order? Could it be deeper liquidity grab and go up again? It could do, Anna. It could do. It's just on the basis that the market it had that big impulsive move. What did it move? It moved 100 points. So if it takes out the lows, what I'm going to wait for is a BPC trade. I'd wait to see further retracement. If the next candle does form an outside candle and close above, then I'll trade it as a breakout candle. I don't want to just get caught on an outside. Show me a money spread if trading is real. Show me a money spread. I like trading gold, sometimes US 30. I don't trade the US 30. I used to trade the US 30 as a swing trader. Um, I don't do anything other than the DAX, gold, and NASDAQ. Questions. Are you short on the? No, I'm not short on anything. I'm looking to potentially go long if we break the highs. If this candle breaks the low over here, then I'm going to cancel the buy order. Okay. Um, and then we'll wait for the next opportunity. Gold is just sat in this range. It's just not doing anything. Very, very boring. I think the next thing that will happen will be 2:30 as NYSE opens. We'll probably get a spike, I think, in the indexes, but we shall see. If this candle doesn't trigger um, in the next 7 minutes, then I'll cancel the order as well because it's a one candle order, this one. So we've got the inside candle that's formed, and I see that as a pause in market momentum before it pushes higher. But it has to do that on the next candle. TK Chef, have Tesla expiring today? What do you think will happen on market open? I have no idea. I don't trade stocks and shares, but I'll have a look. Let's have a look. Pre-market, you're going to see it gap up on the open. It's up. Pre-market, it's up $9, so up 3.4% on the open. Nvidia, it's up pre-market. Amazon, up significant. It looks significant, but what is it? 2% on pre-market. Meta, just looking at the big ones, see what they're doing. Oh, sorry. Meta's up on the open. 1.39%. Netflix, just looking at the bigger markets, the fan, and the next one I'll check will be Microsoft and Google. So that Netflix is only up like 0.5%. There's not a lot. I mean, look, you got to appreciate the Nasdaq's already up what 1.8%. Netflix, what did I say? Alphabet. So Google's up on the open, 1.47%. What's the other one? Microsoft. Yeah, everything's up pre-market. So in the next 19 minutes, you'll get an idea of what's going to happen. But just because everything's up pre-market doesn't necessarily mean that it's just going to fly to the upside. Right, let's have a look. So we've got 4 minutes for this pending order on NASDAQ. Hey Sid from Jamaica, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the team. Hi Moshin. Moshin at Mark Owen. Welcome, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, so we'll just wait and see what happens. Let's go back to NASDAQ and gold. So we have a pending buy order above the high here. DAX, I'm not doing anything with, it's flat. Gold, I'm not doing anything with until we get above 33.67. So let's see what happens. 3 minutes for NASDAQ to trigger. How do I identify a fair value gap? It's just the distance from the low of this candle to the high of this candle over here. If you've got big body in between, that's how they look at it from what I believe. I may be wrong, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty certain that's what they do. Good. You just closed your NASDAQ long. Okay. Yeah, we're looking to get long on NASDAQ if price breaks the highs. So it's just we'll sit tight, see what happens, and see if we can get that move. If gold closes above 33.67, I'm a buyer. If it closes below 33.43, I'm a seller. Two minutes for this candle to trigger. If it doesn't, We delete the order. How can an 18-year-old begin investing in gold? What platform's best for long term? Do you want to buy physical or do you want to just trade like CFD, spot market, digital? Um, Interactive brokers is very good. Um, if you're the problem, if you're gonna long-term hold only, you want to futures, you want to be able to buy futures because if you hold, if you're trading CFDs, you're gonna get annihilated on. Let me just check uh, details. You'll get annihilated on swap charges. So if you're going to trade something like gold from a spot market, then I wouldn't bother if you want to long-term hold. Your swap charges will just kill you. So if you don't know what swap charges are, guys, swap is just what the broker charges you to hold a position overnight. And every broker does the same thing. You can get paid for it and by holding something overnight. So this used to be what you call the carry trade. So in theory, what you used to do for a carry trade is you buy a currency with a high interest rate and you would sell a currency with a low interest rate. All right. What time are we? 2:15. Let's have a look at the 30. In fact, I'm going to hold this based off the 30. I'm going to hold this order based off the 30. So I did something yesterday, which was I explained that there's four different types of candles that are out there. Do you remember what they are, guys? There's four different types of candles. Okay, so we're in the trade now. You can see those orange numbers. We're in the trade. If this goes to blue 15, um, then what will happen is the stop loss will automatically move to break even. Now, something that I'm gonna do as well is because got to buy between 53, 45 worth holdings till 3. Okay, so now going to reduce stops massively. Going to bring them right up underneath this. So I only have now about 8 pips of risk. So the loss, if we incur a loss, is going to be very, very small. Okay, so always very, very aggressive with trade management. Um, yeah, I believe it will still push just close because I reached my percent. Oh, well done, Sid. Yeah, NASDAQ, we're long on the NASDAQ. So stops right underneath the 15-minute candle low. Now remember, the open is coming in 14 minutes. Now we could see it jump, we could see it spike down. I've no idea, but what I've done is I've de-risked massively. I've only got 8 pips of risk here. We've just banked 26 on gold, and I'm happy. There you go. Just about to get taken out. Oh, held in just 9 pips. There we go. I'm out of the trade, guys. I don't want to be in it once it breaks the low. It should have just kept, it should just keep going. If it breaks the low, then all I've done is I've saved myself the pain of another 26 pips. What does a future in gold mean? So you would be buying a contract to take delivery on a future date. So what happens is if you're trading futures, you're paying more for the contracts. Um, you would be in theory, if you exercise the contract, you take delivery of gold on a particular date. So if you just Google best futures contract, best future platform, I mean, you can buy futures on gold with interactive brokers. Now, this is where some people will be going, oh, well, if you'd have left the order where it was, you'd be 5 pips or 10 pips. If it goes on and hits target, I don't care, guys. This, um, the risk ratio. So this is where, I mean, look, initial entry was here, stop was down there. So that was 37 pips. But I moved it initially here to, we lost 9 pips. So if this candle had pulled back really deep, then my stop would have been as low as the low on that candle was. So I trade at a fixed lot size. It's always a fixed lot size. I don't trade at anything different. They're already lot sizes are preset into magic keys, so it automatically takes the trade. Now, like I say, in terms of trade management, if it breaks the low after pushing high first, then breaks the lows, if it hadn't been the open, I would have closed half out. But because it's the open, it's going to get very jittery. I expect it to go up, but you don't know. Just because you expect it to do, you have to stick to your rules. Um, I'd rather take a small loss than take a big loss. That's for sure. So the only thing you can control is how you manage a trade. You can't manage anything else. You can control the risk, um, and that's it. So we lost 9 pips here on the Nasdaq and banked 26 on gold. So two trades, both very, very quick. Nothing really to write home about. But yeah, that's going to be me done for the day, really. If if this candle closes, well, I know what's going to happen, right? This candle's going to close above this level on before the open, and in order for me to take a trade, the next candle has to move lower. So if it closes like this, then what happens is I need the market to pull back down. Okay? I need it to pull back down before I can place the buy stop. Because it's if you were in yesterday or the day before, or Monday or last week, I'll tell you, I always need the candle to go backwards, lower before I buy. So the analogy I use is if you want to fire a bow forwards, so if you've got bow and arrow and you want to fire it, you pull the bow backwards, then you let go, and the arrow will fly. This is the same. Okay. Um, look, I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I look at this now, and yeah, it's gone. But I look at it, I go, well, I lost 9 pips. Um, what's the risk of buying a future? There is no risk. It's actually a more stable market. It's just more expensive. Euro yen flew up, hitting my 1% paper trading from break and retest. Lovely, well done, MC FC. Now when you trail the stop loss and got hit, do you make another entry when market retraced? Great question. So I'm now going to wait for the market to close potentially above this level because a lot could happen. If it closes above and it stays up here, and then the next candle, if it doesn't pull back down, then I won't place an order. I'll just let it go, and that'll be me done for the day and this week. Um, oh, hold on. Let's have a look at gold. That's liquidation. Then we go short. Yeah, perfect. Go short, buddy. Um, the amount of times I hear that's liquidation, and then it just keeps going. It goes until the next point, and then it's liquidation again, and then it's next point. Look, just trade what you see. It's simple. Um, what made you move the stop loss? Good question. Price action. So look, if in fact, I hate MetaTrader, so let me just make the trading view bigger, and I'll zoom into this. Okay, so let's do that like that, and I'll bring YouTube back over to trading view. Okay, so when we looked at the trade initially, we were saying, right, if the market pulled back and then broke the highs, we'd be long. We got the seller candle, but then I said this next candle had to break the highs in order for me to trigger. Now it didn't, so I then went up a time frame just to have a look to see if we had the same setup. So we did. The market pulled back. Now it's broken the highs. Now because it broke the highs, I was watching the 15-minute. When it broke the highs, it broke the highs and then it came down and broke its own low. Now we don't know how that candle's going to unfold. So if it's gone up first and then turned around and broken its own low, I've killed the trade. I brought my stop loss up. That was just me being very proactive coming into a time where the market's going to jump about quite a bit. Um, in normal times, just before if it wasn't the open, what I would do is I'd have left my stop loss where it is. If the market broke its own low, I would close half off and then let it run. Okay. And then if it closed bearish, I would cancel the trade and take whatever loss it is. So it's always about reducing losses to as little as possible. Because people always say I got a 20R on this or a 10R on that. I never get any kind of returns like that. But if you think about the wins that you get, if you can reduce your losses by 25%, so let's say in a month you made $20,000 and you lost $10,000, so you're up positive $10,000. If you can reduce your losses by 25%, you've now just added that 25% to your P&L. So you're instead of having 20,000 positive minus 10, you've now minus 7.5. So you're positive 12.5. So you've just added 25% to your P&L. So managing your losses is a very good way to add cheap money to your P&L. Taken 22 pips. Well done, Vic. Well done, mate. So I'll stick around for the open, see what happens. And then I'm gonna do one. So I'm like I said, I'm finished for today. I'm finished for the week. I've done. Um, how does price action work without indicators to identify zones? Indicators are created by price. Indicators are created by price. So we don't need indicators. Okay. Indicators are just clutter on a chart. Gandalf, how are you, mate? 15-minute last candle didn't retrace much. Maybe we could have seen 30 minutes wick below as stop loss since trade was also off the 30 minutes. Yeah, but like I said, because it's the open, you're going to get a lot of jumping around. It may fly up, it may fly up higher, it may jump down lower and then fly higher later. So I want to be very, very aggressive in these situations. I mean, look, hindsight's a wonderful thing. If I'd have left my stop loss where it was, we got TP1 at 20 pips because it moved 27. Yeah, thinking trucker VV. Yeah, I think Vic finished up with 22 pips on his first position and 10 on his second. Right, 4 more minutes, guys. Let's see what happens to the NASDAQ on the open, and then I'm going to say to you all, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it, and I'll catch you all Monday. So let's just see what happens on the open. But I am done for the week now. There's no more trades coming from me. We had two today, 26 pips on gold and -9 for me on NASDAQ. Cheers, Edwin. Have a great weekend, buddy. See you next week, mate. Thank you for turning up. I do appreciate you guys turning up. It's always nice to have questions coming in. It makes my job easier. Oh, thanks, Vivi. That's appreciated. I just try and keep it simple. That's all it is. I try and keep it simple. Don't try and do anything crazy. Thanks, Gandalf. Um, the simpler it is, the easier it is for people to follow. And rather than follow it, the simpler it is, the easier it is to stay disciplined. And let's see what happens on the open. What's your biggest challenges, traders? What do you find are your biggest challenges with trading? Is it staying disciplined? Is it creating rules? Is it because it's a lonely place? Once again, you've been real. Cheers, Chris. Pleasure, mate. Have to deal with a few keyboard warriors, unfortunately, but greed. Yeah, it's a good one. Overtrading. Yeah, I would say that's my problem, overtrading, which is why I like to do live streams. When I'm like DAX is breaking. Let's have a look. When I do live streams, I don't overtrade. Uh, okay, I'm not interested in the DAX to be fair, unless we get above. Let's just let me delete everything. If the DAX got above there, I'd be interested. Let's have a look. Yeah, so regarding the DAX, okay. So short underneath here, long above there. That's what I'd be interested in. Okay, so the open's happening now. Let's have a quick look. I think you're going to see price break through those highs. But we shall see. Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Appreciate your time and effort. YouTube, bye, guys. Have a great weekend. Um, Terry's done 3.6% this week. Lovely. Well done. Take care.